Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Miller coming to you for the DeKalb County Library System. And those of you who have followed my work at all know that I like some really different creative links. So today we're going to make a nice stone link bracelet or a link bracelet out of stone beads. And we're just gonna, it's going to be not a standard link bracelet. It's going to be your average link bracelet. But the difference is the way we wrap the links. So that's what we're going to do today. It's not going to be difficult. It's just going to be, hopefully, I've used this little wrap before, but not quite like this. I'm taking two different types of wrap and putting them into one type of link. So I hope that you like it. I think it's really neat. It's kind of architectural, or it's got some little diamond shapes, and I like it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You're going to use your usual tools, your round nose pliers. Again, these are round all the way around the barrel. They get slightly, they get tapered towards the tip to a smaller point. Then you have your square nose pliers, which are slightly rounded on the outside, and then on the inside, they're completely flat. And that makes it possible to create a square shape. And we have some wire cutters that cut wire. So those are the things that we're going to need, in addition to a ruler. The beads that I'm using is I'm using some stone beads. I'm using these square stones. Those of you who get kits, they're not all going to be the same. This is kind of not quite square. It's a little bit of a rectangle. And then I'm using these Howlite rondelles. And again, they're not going to all be the same, but this is what I'm using to put this particular bracelet together. We're also using 20 gauge wire and jump rings. So let's get down here to the other two. Let's get down here to the mat and get started. Okay, the first thing that you'll need to do is measure a length of wire for your first wrap, for your first link. And the way to know how much you need is to measure your bead and then add 5 inches on one side and about 4 inches on the other. So my bead is about 1/2 inch. Again, just whatever length your bead is, and then add just go ahead and give yourself 5 inches on one side and 3.5 to 4 on the other. You may not need that much, but you're better off having a little bit more than you need. So I have actually 10 inches here because this bead is not quite an inch long. It's maybe a little more than 1/2 inch. Yes, it's about 3/4 of an inch. So I've just got 10 inches of wire here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to measure it here. You can either put your bead on. It's probably easier to just measure it on your ruler. I'm going to give myself 5 inches from one end. Okay. 5. I'm going to bend my wire. This is my 5 inches. Okay. And I'm going to make my first loop. It's not really a loop, it's a triangular loop. So that's where my square pliers come in. So I'm going to take my wire, slide it all the way back to the back of my pliers. So that I can make a nice big triangle. So this is my 5 inch link. length. Let's see, is that right? Let me sure. Check my other one. Goes all the way there. Yes. Very good. Come off of there. 5 inches. Make sure I have the right side. Yes. Okay. So this is my 5 inches right here. I'm going to slide my wire back to the back of my pliers. Now, my pliers have a cutter on the back, so I have to be careful when I say the back. I mean right before it gets to this little point right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to fold it up the side of my pliers, just like that. And then without shifting my wire, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I know where it goes. It's right back here in the back. So if it shifts, I'll just replace it. I'm going to turn my pliers. Put my wire back in there. And make another fold over my pliers. Now I'm going to take my wire out and take a look at it because I want these two sides to be going in the same direction. And this one is going straight and this one's leaning a little bit. So I'm going to straighten that out. And you can see I have 3 sides of my triangle. Where's that? I don't need you on. Okay, so I'm going to straighten that out so that both of these are going the same direction, just like that. Then I'm going to slide my pliers back in. And what we have here is the beginning of my little, it's not actually a triangle, it's more of a, well, it kind of is a triangle. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides though, but we're going to have a point at the top. I'm going to do my, slide my pliers back in, back here to the back. This is the rest of the wire that I haven't used. Okay. And I'm going to fold that wire down over my pliers again, like so. Just like that. So that's what I have. Now I can see that this side, I want this side to be the same length as this side, and I can see that it's a little bit longer. So I'm going to adjust it until it's about the same. So that's what I have. Okay. So that's my first link. I mean, my first triangular loop. You know, it's more of a diamond. I should call it a diamond. My first diamond loop. So this is the wire I've been wrapping with. It's gone up, across, down the other side, and over. And I'm going to take this wire that I've been wrapping with, same wire, and I'm going to wrap it around this other wire that I haven't done anything with yet. So I'm going to put flat wires around here somewhere, hiding from me. I don't see them, so I will just use these. And I'm going to hold on to my triangle or my diamond. And I'm going to bring this wire up, the wire that I've been wrapping with. I'm going to bring it up to the side like so. So that's what I have. And I'm going to wrap that wire around the base of my diamond right there at the bottom. So that's what I have so far. And now I'm going to make my funnel. I'm going to bring this way down so that we can get a good look. So now I'm going to make the funnel effect. I'm calling this a funnel wrapped link bracelet. So I'm going to, instead of, we usually wrap down a stem. Instead, I'm going to be wrapping up towards the tip of the bead. So I'm going to bring my wire across just above the last wrap and then around the other side. And I like to turn my wire so I can see what I'm doing. So there's my first wrap. And bring it around to the other side. Okay. Turn. Another wrap. And what I would caution you of is not to pull on your wire, because if you do, you run the risk of squeezing this together, and you don't want this. You want to keep this to keep its shape. So I'm going to turn it again and fold that tail over. Turn it again. Wrap over. Turn. And wrap. Whoops. Ooh, I see blurry. Sorry about that, everybody. Oops. That's better. Okay. Turn my wire again. Fold that over. Turn. And wrap. Turn. Wrap. And you can see my funnel forming. Turn. I've done this before with a round loop, but not with the square, but not one with square sides. So I thought this would be neat. Turn. And wrap. And there we go. Pretty neat, huh? I like it. I think that's as far as I can go, because I need to be able to tuck this in, and I might need to cut it off back here to tuck it. But if I can, I will give it one more wrap. Let's see if I can do that. I think I might be wishful thinking. Let's see if I can get that around there. Let's use my round pliers. Now, ideally, I prefer to have enough wire to tuck down in the center here. And I'm going to try to see if I can make this work by wrapping it around this corner so I can keep most of this wrap. So let's see. I'm just going to push that down. Yeah, I think that'll work. And I'm going to push this little tail down into the funnel as far as I can get. It's very small. Yes, that worked. So I just pushed that little tip down here into the corner. I just don't want it sticking up where it'll catch on anything. Again, ideally, I'd have a little bit more wire that I could push down in the center, but I didn't want to lose what I had, so I could keep this lovely, lovely little funnel. So there's my little funnel wrap. That's one side. Then I'm going to slide my bead on. Isn't that neat? I love it. Isn't that neat? Oh, different. Love it. Okay, so now we're going to do one on the other side, but it's going to be a little smaller. So I'm going to bend my wire to the side, just like I did on the first one. And now you're going to have a little bit of a challenge because I have a bead there. So I can't fold that back too much because I need to be able to get my pliers in there. So what I'm going to do is slide this in. As you can see, I put a piece of tape on here because I've already done some of these and I want to match the size. So I put a piece of tape on there where I went with these so that I know how far down to go on my wire because I have two different sizes. One is small and one is large. Let's see if I can get that up here to the camera. So yeah, I had a small one on one side, a large one on the other. So I'm going about a third of the way down my pliers for the second one. That's the size that I want. You can do your size any way you like. But because that's the way I started, that's the way I'm going to continue. So I'm going to go to where my little mark is on my tape. Slide my pliers down as close as I can get to the bead. Again, it's a challenge because there's a bead there, whereas before I had free movement. Here we go. Yeah. Now I'm going to fold that over my pliers, and I'm just folding it on top. I'm not folding it all the way around because I just want to make a little diamond shape. So there's one, there's the second side of my diamond. The first side is right here where I folded it. There we go. Adjust it a little bit. Go back to my mark. Fold my wire over my pliers, nice and flat. Go. And last side, right there to my mark again. And this is the last one is the most challenging because I've got a bead in my way. I'm going to take some maneuvering, hold it down over the pliers. And there we have it. I just have to push it together. And there it is. There. There's my little diamond. And now it's time to wrap. Got a little neck down here at the bottom. So I'm going to cover that up first with my first wrap. Let's wrap that around like so. Then I'm going to continue wrapping up towards the top. So I'm going to turn and wrap that around the side, turn, wrap over the top of my first wrap, turn, another wrap, turn, wrap, and just keep on going until I have my funnel. See how neat that is? And turn and wrap. I actually do say this to myself when I'm doing it, because otherwise I would just be bored. Because it's really simple. It's really easy to do. So I do that just so that I can be entertained. Turn and wrap. Ooh, neat. And one more and we're finished. And you're going to be able to see what I meant about wanting it to be in the center. Normally, I like to kind of cut it right here where in the center here where the point of my diamond is, and then push it down in the center of my little funnel. Yeah. So I have a little bit more than I need. I'm going to clip that off right here in the center. There's the top. I'm going to cut it off equal to that spot. And this is going to go flying if I don't do something about it to control it. You can see all kinds. Oh, there aren't any down in there. I usually have a bunch of little pieces of wire down in my little spool. Clip that off. Right down there in the spool. Check my little wraps, make sure they look the way I want them to look. They look pretty darn good. Yeah. So let's grab my pliers. It can be the round or the square pliers. I find it's easier with the square pliers. And I'm going to push this little tip down into the funnel. Now, I usually, you can just try to push them down with both of your arms of your pliers, but I like to kind of hold one side and push with the other side. Do not squeeze, because if you do, you will collapse your little funnel, and you don't want to do that. We're just holding it dormant with one side and squeezing and pushing with the other side. Just very carefully. Be patient. Don't try to be in a rush. And just tuck that right down in there. And it's tucked right down in there. Very nice. Don't snag on anything. And there's my funnel. Neat. I like that so much. All right. So there's my first little link. Not really. I've got the others done over here. But isn't that neat? Okay. And now we're going to do something similar to connect it with my other beads. Now, you can do this out of all one bead. you don't need to change it. I just wanted something a little different. And what I found was with the size bead that I have, if I were to try to use this one all the way around my bracelet, I would have ended up with 4 links. And what happens when you have an even number of links is that your bracelet ends up with the focal pieces on the side, because you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the wrap part ends up in the center. Now this wrap is really pretty, so that's not a big deal, but I just think it's better to have my focal piece in the center. I've done a lot of pieces where I would have the beads, the main beads on top and the other beads on the side, but I do that a lot. So I wanted to do something different and just alternate them instead. So that's what we're doing. So there's my first link, one of my links. And I'm going to make another one out of my alternating link. Same thing. Now for that one, again, I need the same measurement on each side of the bead, but this is a much smaller bead, so I don't need as much. As long as I have my 5 and my 3.5 to 4, I'm perfectly fine. So I'm going to measure. I think I ended up with 8 inches for this one because of the size, the smaller size. Yeah, the smaller size of my bead. So I just need 5 inches, and I'm going to do the opposite this time. I think it's easier if you do the small one first and the large one second, because it's easier to make this wrap with the bead if you have a larger space to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and do the smaller one first. I know I need 5 inches on one side. No, do I need 5? Yeah, 5 inches on one side. And about 3.5 inches on the other. That's not enough. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I need another inch. So I need 9 inches. Because this is about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah. So if I want 5 on one side and 3.5 on the other, that's 8.5. So I need 9 inches. I would put that to the side for something else that we know I'm going to use it for. Okay, so I'm going to give myself 9 inches. Yeah. Okay. This is my 5 for the one side. And the 1/4 for my bead. And that leaves me with 3.5 for the other side. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to bend that back. This is the side I'm going to start wrapping with. Bend that. Grab my pliers. Slide it down to where I've got my mark. Fold that 3.5 inch piece over the pliers. And stop. And notice I'm only folding it across, not around, just across, because this side is not the same size as this side, plus that's slightly rounded. So I just want to fold that across the side of my pliers and open my pliers and turn it till the pliers are on top so I can fold it down the other side. Make sure I'm in the right spot here that I've got marked. Fold it down the side. And then take it out and take a look. Make sure that these are going in the same direction. So that needs to come out like that. So that that's going that way, that's going that way. Not too much of a difference because we're making a diamond. Okay, let's go back in. Slide my wire down my pliers back to where my mark is. And make sure when you put it in there that this side is hugging the wire on the other side. You don't want it way over here. You want it all the way back, hugging this side and lined up where my mark is. There we go. Bring that wire down across the pliers, just like we did before. And there's my little diamond. And just adjust it until they both look the same. Come on. Make my little adjustments. And open this up a little bit more. Making a lot of adjustments, isn't it? Okay, I think that's good. Here's my little diamond shape. This is a little rounder than I want. Straighten that out. There. Here's my little diamond. And let's go ahead and go back in with my pliers. Hold on to the face of my diamond. And let's make my first wrap. Got that going straight out to the side. Wrap that around the stem for the first wrap. All the way around. And then start wrapping up towards the top of my diamond. Wrap and turn, wrap and turn, wrap and turn. And keep wrapping until I have my little funnel the size that I want. Straighten it out. Wrap, turn, wrap, turn, and wrap, and I think that's as far as I can go. Yes. Push this together. And I think I can take this around and tuck it down in. Let's see if I have enough. Yes, I do. just enough to tuck down in my funnel. Let's separate it a little bit, push it down before I go any further. And tuck that down in my funnel. And there we go. Nice. There it is. There's my little triangle. This is very free form, so you can expect each one of these to look a little bit different. Okay, and now we're ready to do our large one. Slide my bead on, and you want both of these to be laying the same, going the same direction. So if this triangle is flat, you want this triangle to be flat. I keep saying triangle. If this diamond is flat, you want this diamond to be flat. So what I need to do is bend my wire to the side like so. And again, I'm going to not bend it too far. I need to get a good bend in there. So I always bend it as far as I can go and as close as I can get to the bead. And then pull it back up a little bit, just so I can get a nice bend in there. Okay, grab my pliers. Now this time we're making the large one second instead of the small one. Okay, slide all the way to the back of my pliers. And again, you don't need to make yours this big if you don't want to. This is the size that I think looks really good. Okay. Make sure it's as close to the bead as I can get. Fold my wire down over the top of my pliers like so. Open my pliers up, turn them to the side, and re-grasp my wire. Make sure it's positioned properly. Fold the wire down on top of my pliers again. Open and check. I think this is a little bigger than I want. That's very long. So what I'm going to do is get that little bend out and rebend. So go back here to the back again. That means I didn't get as close to the bead as I should have. Okay. And here to the back. And that over the top of my pliers. Take that out. Turn to the side. Go back in. Let's see if I can bend in the same spot. I do believe I can. Very good. Bend that over the side of my pliers. Take that out, take a peek. Both of these need to be going the same direction, so just adjust the one that I haven't done anything with. Make sure that they're both going the same way. And go back in with my pliers to the very back. And again, I'm going to have to deal with that bead being in my way. But I think it's easier because this is bigger and not as close to the bead as when I did the small one second. Okay. Bend as much as I can, and then I'm going to have to adjust to get it the rest of the way. Slide that under. And bend it nice and close. There we go. There's my triangle. Check. Make sure everything looks nice and tidy. You're going to be covering most of this up, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I do want it to be straight. Check my wires and make sure there aren't any weird bends in them. But there's my triangle. Nice. And let's start to wrap. Grab my pliers, hold on to my triangle as far down as I can go so that it doesn't shift when I do this first wrap. So wrap that right above the bead and between the bead and the pliers. Get that one wrap in just to hold it, just to make sure everything is stable. And I'm going to turn that around, wrap over the top of the other bead, over wrap. And when I say over, I don't mean on top of the wrap, I mean above that wrap. And turn it around. Another wrap nice and close to that first one. Turn and wrap. And just keep doing this until I have my funnel. And notice how I'm not pulling it around. When I turn it, I just kind of fold it over the top. I don't want to risk possibly squeezing these together. You want to make sure that the shape of your diamond stays intact. Turn and wrap. Turn and wrap. Turn. I think I can get one more wrap in there. And that is it. This one will tuck down into my funnel. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to clip that off right there in the center. And the easy way to find my center is to just clip it right there across from where the tip is. Grab my clippers here. Grab my spool, turn that down in there, and snip. Now I can just tuck that down inside my funnel. And again, I'm not squeezing this. I don't want to squeeze these together. I'm holding it steady with this side and pushing it down with the other side. There we go. And there is my funnel. It's not going to lay flat because of the shape of the bead. There we go. There are two of my links. Isn't that neat? And I'm keeping mine large, small, large, small, large, small. If you want to like turn them together and go this, do that you can. But I'm just going a consistent large, small. So there are two of my links. And now how do we put them together? Why, with jump rings, of course. Okay. Now you can check this and make sure that these little wraps are looking the way you want. This one is kind of leaning a little bit to the side, so I'm going to straighten it out. There we go. Now it's nice and straight. Check all of that out. That's going to go this way. The small black backs up against the large. So I'm going to grab my jump rings. Proper way to open my jump rings is to grab one side beside the opening with the pliers, take the other side and just push it down or twist with my thumb and finger. Another way is to grab the jump ring, find the opening. I think it's over here. There's my opening. Grab one side with one pair of pliers, the other side with another pair of pliers, and twist. Always want to use the twisting motion. You never want to pull the ends apart because trying to get them back together is very difficult. All right, so I'm going to grab one of my links. I'm going to slide my jump ring in the small one, or I should say the small link inside the jump ring. Then I'm going to add the large link for the other bead inside the jump ring, and I'm going to close it up. And the way I close it is the exact same way I opened it. Just twist it with my fingers or twist it with the pliers, whichever works best. And see how easy that is to close when you don't pull them apart. Now, for this, because I have all of these wraps, I want to use a double jump ring. Plus, this is stone, so it's a little heavy. So just for added security, I'm going to use 2 jump rings. Plus, I just think it looks really neat. So I'm going to add another jump ring, slide it inside of one of my diamonds, and then inside the other diamond. Ooh, look at that. I need to push that down further. Let's do that right now. Push that further down in there. There we go. Nice and snug. Get down in there. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Back to the jump rings. Grab my jump ring. Slide one of my links, my loops, my diamonds inside the jump ring, and then slide the other one right beside the other jump ring inside this jump ring. Make sure that the jump rings don't get tangled up together. They need to be separate. And then you can either use your fingers to close that up, or you can use the same method that you used, the second method that I used, with 2 sets of pliers and just twist. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and jiggle that a little bit to make sure that these little tips are flush together. There we go. Nice, neat, and tidy. And there's my little link. There. Neat, huh? Ah, now we just have to put them together with the other ones. Now, I want to show you something on this. When I was doing this and I was playing around, trying to decide how to do this, I made a triangle out of one of them. Oh, this one. This one is an inverted triangle or an upside down triangle instead of a diamond. And I could have cut it off and changed it, but I thought, no, I don't want to waste the wire. Plus, I can just make that the center one. So the rest of them look like this, diamond and diamond. And this one has a diamond and a square. That's fine, no big deal. And you know what else I did on this? I made these 2 the same size. Oh, I did. I didn't make them 2 different sizes. Virginia. That was why I was only using 8 inches of wire instead of 9, because I made these 2 the same size. Now I have two choices. I can either redo this one, which I think I will do, because I really like this better. I like the large, small dynamic. But I won't do that on camera. I will change that later. Because I really do not like the large, small. Now, so if you want to make the smaller beads that you have with two small triangles, stop saying triangles. If you want to make the smaller beads that you have with two small diamonds, you need 8 inches of wire. If you want to make it with the large and the small, you need 9 inches of wire. You'll have enough wire for either one. Okay, if you get a kit. So let's go ahead. I'm going to leave that the way it is for now, and I'm going to put these together. All right. Here we go. So that is going to be my bracelet. Wrong. That is going to be my bracelet, and it needs to be large to small. There we go. So that is going to be my bracelet, which means this little thing is not going to be in the center, which I like better because I really like these to show. Okay, so that's going to be my bracelet. That's kind of awesome, if I must say so myself. I just need to link these together with jump rings to get it all together here. Let's open that up. Open that up. Now, I see people take their pliers, put the pliers on the inside, open them to part the opening. That means you're going to have a hard time getting that back together. That's why I do not advise that you do that. That is not the proper way to open a jump ring. It just isn't. But I do see other people doing it. If you want to do it that way, go ahead. Not my way. All right. It just means that this way is better. It doesn't mean it's necessarily wrong. So I don't want to call out people who do it the other way, because that obviously works for them. Okay, let's close that up. These jump rings are so small. My fingers are not. Get them there. Yeah. And I'm trying not to block the camera, which is almost impossible sometimes. I want you to see what I'm doing. Mix that together there. Good. Let's put the other one on. And again, you want to make sure that the jump rings don't get tangled up together. They're supposed to be separate. So I always slide the other one on the side so it doesn't get tangled on to the other one. And slide it in right beside the other one. Close it up. Here we go. Isn't that neat? I just love it. This is what I was saying about if I had 4 of these, it would end up off to the side like this instead of on top of my wrist. Oh, I like it very much. Now it's time to make my clasp. Now I can see I don't really need much more. And it just depends on your wrist, but you want to, at this point, kind of measure and determine how much more you need. I can see that I need a hook, and I might need another loop, but I don't want too much more because I only have about maybe an inch to an inch and a half of spit more wire that I need in order to get this to fit my arm. So I'm going to go ahead and do the hook first and then decide where to go from there. And I want to make a hook that's beaded just so that it's consistent with the rest. And that's why I'm a little concerned about how much to use. Because if I add, this is about, see, this is almost 7 inches. My wrist is 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead and make a beaded hook and see if I can just hook that into this opening here instead of making an additional loop. I think I'll put it over here and then I can hook it in here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and make a hook. Now I'm going to use this 8 inches that I cut earlier because I may as well use it up. So what I'm going to do is give myself about 1.25 inches of wire from the tip. Doesn't have to be much, about 1.25 inches. And I'm going to put a bend in my wire. Yeah, I'm going to put a bend in my wire. And I'm going to bend it all the way over so that this short stem matches the long stem. So this is what I have. And I need to squeeze it together so that they're side by side as close as I can get them. And when I can't squeeze it anymore with my fingers, I'm going to grab my pliers and squeeze. Now I like to squeeze it long ways because if I squeeze it right here up at the tip, I end up with a little bulb. So I try to use the long length of my pliers. But you're going to have to be patient and not try to rush it. There we go. So now that I've got that, I'm going to go down about 1/2 inch from this short tip here. Keep things nice and straight. And I'm going to bend that short tip up like so. And then I'm going to wrap this little short tail around. I'm going to flip this because that little piece of tape is distracting. I'm going to wrap the short tail around the long stem of wire. And I can see that I have way too much wire, but that's the piece that I cut. I just want to use it up. So wrap that around one full time. And it's short, so I'm going to use my pliers and wrap it around another half wrap. Now you can, because this is very short, just wrap the whole thing around. You don't have to stop at 1.5 wraps. You can give it 2 wraps. It just depends on how much wire you want to see. But you want to give it at least 1.5, enough to keep this in place. Okay, so I'm going to clip off this little tip that I don't need. And again, it's very short. I'm going to grab my little spool and cut it down into there. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, push that little tip down so it won't catch on anything. And now I'm gonna put my small bead on there, this, or small enough bead on there. And now I'm going to make my wrap. Now, you can just make a regular wrap if you want, but I want to do something that's consistent with what I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and do another diamond, just because, why not? So my hook is going to be, this is side by side, and it's going to hook up and down. So I want my wrap to be opposite of the what I'm going to hook it into. So this is going to hook into here, like that. So it's going to attach over here. Well, it's going to attach to a jump ring. You know what? That's right. Ignore that. That doesn't matter. It's attaching to a jump ring. So I can make my diamond the same way I did before. So I'm going to bend my wire over to the side. You have to decide whether or not you want a small or a large. And again, it depends on how much extra space you need. I think I'm going to make it, because I've got large, small. I'm going to go ahead and make a large one, just so that it's consistent with what the pattern is. I've got my wire bent to the side, plus I have this long piece of wire. I may as well use it up. Okay. Have my bend in there. I'm going to go down. I think I'm going to compromise and just not make it all the way big. No, yes, I am. Let's make it all the way big. All the way down here to the back, like I did with my other big one. And I'm going to fold my wire over the top of my pliers. Take a peek. And now that I don't have to worry about my pliers not having space, I can bend it back the rest of the way. Bend. There we go. Go ahead and slide my wire back to the back again. Bend my wire over the pliers, like so. Take it out and check. Make sure that these are going the same direction. Boom, boom, boom. Very good. Slide my wire back in my pliers. Back to the back. Back. There we go. And bend. Okay, let's check this out. Adjust it. And this needs to go all the way over here. That's why I said that last bend is always a challenge, because the bead is blocking my progress. I have to be creative in how I get it over there. Scooch it around. There we go. And see, now I have a little bend in there, so I have to straighten that out. Okay. And adjust it until it's the same size as the first one that I made. So there's my little diamond. There's that little neck down there. I need to wrap around there first. Right there, just at the top of my bead. There we go. And let's start wrapping up towards the tip of my diamond. And by tip, I mean top, the tippy top. Okay, wrap that around, turn, wrap, turn, just like we did with our links. I do like a nice beaded clasp. Anybody who knows me knows that that's a fact. Wrap, turn, wrap, and turn. Now you don't have to do this. If you are adept enough to just wrap around without looking, feel free. That is a skill, a wonderful skill. But I kind of like to see what I'm doing. Wrap, turn, wrap, turn, wrap. See, do I have enough to go all the way around? I think I can manage it. If not, I will clip it off over here. But let's see if I can get around this little bend and still have enough to tuck into my funnel. Do I? Do I? I do. I have enough. Yay! Just barely, but enough. Like that. Oh, look. Slid right down in there. Beautiful. Just push that down a little closer. Very good. And there we are. Very pretty. Nice. And now I'm going to make my hook on the other side. This is going to be the hook. I'll make sure my wires are nice side by side. I'm going to go down here to the tip. I'm going to bend this little tip up. So this is going to be my hook. It's going to be going down towards my little mat here. So I'm going to go to the tip and I'm just going to tweak it back. I'm just going to put a little ledge, just like that. Then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to turn that back. So that's what I have now. And now I'm going to make my hook. I'm going to take my wire, slide it all the way to the back of my pliers. And I'm going to rotate my pliers just a little bit, about a third of the way. And then without shifting my wire, open my pliers up, reposition them, just rotating back, clamp back down, give it another turn, open, reposition, clamp, and keep doing that until I have a shepherd's hook. Make that a little more graceful, make a little neck on the top there. And there is a shepherd's hook. Neat, huh? I love it. So there's my little hook. It's going to hook into the other side. Yeah. Okay. Let's attach. And I'm going to attach it to the side. I said I was going to attach it over here. Yeah. Okay. So we'll attach it here. And then let's see if I need anything more. Go ahead and open up my jump ring. Slide it on. And close it. Yeah. Now I'm going to check before I go any further. I'm going to put another jump ring on, but I'm still debating. Do I want to, I'm going to flip that around because I want this, that's good. do I want this to be over here or over here? But let me check the size and see what I have. Perfect. It's perfect. I don't need anything else. Let me put my other jump ring on. Open that up. I'm going to use the 2-wire method just to make sure you know both of them again. Twist it open. Slide my jump ring inside of one of my diamonds. Okay. And get in there. And select the one diamond and right beside the other jump ring and the other diamond. I don't know why it doesn't want to go in there. There we go. Okay, there. Okay. And let's close it. Oh, I see blur. Why is it so blurry? That's annoying. Maybe it's too close. Okay, let's move it away. Okay. Close that up. Make sure the ends are nice and close together. I don't know why I'm getting so much blur. Okay, I think that's better. Nice and flush. Okay, and there we go. There's my bracelet. There's my bracelet, everybody. Oh, there it is. There's my bracelet. Gotta put it on, gotta put it on. And it's just gonna hook over here in my last link. I don't even need anything else. I don't think. Might be a little snug. Now mine, I don't like my bracelets to be really loose. So that's my little challenge. I really don't like them to be loose. I like them as close to my wrist as I can get. So that means I have a little challenge sometimes when I'm putting them on. Where's the link? Where's the, but see, I love a beaded hook, but then I can't find it because it looks like the rest of the bracelet. That is why it's so awesome. And there is my bracelet. Let's bring this up a little bit. There it is. There's my bracelet. And there's the hook over there. Get over there. There it is. You can't even tell it's a hook. I love it. Oh my goodness. This is really, really neat. And I love these beads. So those of you who get kits will have enough beads and wire to make this bracelet. And you will have enough. I gave everybody 4 of these in case you needed to make a loop for the other side, but I didn't need to. And the way that you would do it is just do it exactly the way you did your beads. Just add another one of these on this side to hook into. But I didn't need one. I just hooked it right into my other link. And it came out just fine. There it is. Oh man, I like this a lot. I have to make another one of these. Oh, okay. That's it. I could sit here all day and just stare at this, but I won't. So there it is. There is my bracelet. It came out even better than I thought it would, even though I'd already started it and saw the way it was coming out. Isn't that pretty? There it is. Oh, I love my little funnel wrapped hook. I love these funnel wraps, period. I think I've done this on a necklace. I don't think I've done it on a bracelet, and I definitely have never used the diamond shape. Those funnels are the perfect foil for those diamonds. I love every bit of this, and I hope you will too. So that's our piece for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will join us in making one and post some pictures, please. I get the biggest joy out of seeing what you've made out of what's in the kits or what you've purchased for yourself in order to make the piece that we do in the tutorial. So if you would like to give me some feedback, post your pictures, comments, criticisms, I would love to hear both. You can do that at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20@gmail.com. Or you can post on the DeKalb County Library YouTube page, which is YouTube/DeKalb Library, or the DeKalb County Library Facebook page, which is facebook.com/DeKalb Library, spelled DEKALLIBR. Wait a minute. DEKALBLIBRARY. So facebook.com/DeKalb Library or youtube.com/DeKalb Library. Hope to hear from you. And until next time, I I hope you have a good week, a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.